up, everyone? Welcome back to Line of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of the Build the One Half Scale Darth Vader from Fanhome. And we are into the heart of it. We're going to be approaching stage number 30. And I've kind of realized like we're several months into this. And fingers crossed, no delays so far. And once again, as I keep saying, for every one of these episodes, I am very, very impressed with the quality of all the parts that we have and the way this model has just gone together. It's been a lot of fun to build, and it's nice and simple. There's not a whole lot to do right now, and I'm kind of curious if that's going to be how it is going forward. I'm used to the DeLorean and Kit and the Enterprise and the Millennium Falcon and stuff like that. So, those builds are big and encompassing and having lots of different stuff. Now, we have gathered up a lot of parts for this build, but it's not been super crazy. Like, it's been one of those things where I've been able to keep all the parts together, and they've been focusing on building just certain parts here and there. And I got to be honest with you, I really liked how this has turned out, and it's been a lot of fun to build. So here we are with another month's worth of parts, and we're going to be doing stages 25 through 29. And yeah, we're going to be basically finishing up all of the helmet and connecting a bunch of parts that we've been assembling for a little while that have been individual components. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start by doing that with stage 25, where we're going to be putting Vader's bling into the bottom of his face mask. All right, here we are. Another month, though, and no more magazines. I did get the new slipcase, so I'm assuming they were supposed to get them. I have let Fanhome know, so we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here and get our parts out. There we are. And this is going to be a fairly simple stage and really just a very simple package, as we basically have done a lot of this work, and this is just a lot of finishing details. So we have a couple of rubber pieces here, and these are going to be for the to basically create like a cushion around his neck. We have some R screws. Okay, that's interesting. So we have some R screws. Haven't seen those ones yet. There we are. R. And we have some of our little studs. Okay. So, first up, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab his lower jaw assembly. And we are going to go ahead and get this mated up. And with all of these details, like these little things facing down right here, we are going to go ahead and get this hooked into place. And you will see the two holes where we're going to be putting to match up right here. So in order to get that in place, you're going to have to kind of stretch over the outside a little bit. Okay, so after some messing around, I had to really kind of figure this out. Basically, I have installed this piece upside down, so I'm going to need to go ahead and pop that off. I'll go ahead and take care of that after the stage in between the other one. I was kind of confused as to why I was having difficulties with this process. And it was because I was trying to follow the instructions. Oh my goodness. All the magnets. I was trying to follow the instructions, and I was following the directionality of this little piece right here, and did not get it right. So there is that. Unfortunately, that took me a long time to figure out, as this is a bit of a tough connection. So do be patient. And don't get too frustrated like I did. I didn't swear at all when I was doing this. No, I didn't. I promise. I promise. All right. These are marked R, but these are type D screws. I'm not quite sure why they did that. Now, after getting everything lined up like we did on the other side, being careful to get these two pieces lined up together. Just like so. This is a bit of a pain. There we go. So holding the piece together like this. And once you kind of get everything arranged properly, man, I got to say, of this entire model, this was by far the jankiest connection so far. And I can see why. It was definitely my fault. But these are some complicated pieces to get together here. And there we go. Okay. Perfect. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch these parts around, and I'll be right back. All right, I finally got that all fixed. And that's what that's supposed to look like. Goodness me. All right. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do, as I believe we're going to go ahead and grab... Is there a difference between the two? So there's one that is slightly longer, which is going to be 01. Got it, which is the one up top. Okay, so this one should fit right along the top here, and it's got a little slot. It's almost like a gasket in a way. And we're going to be putting 01 up top. And just slot that down. Right around the edge here. Make sure it's sitting around it. There we go. Very cool. That looks awesome. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing along the bottom here. Yep, just like gasket material. And get that in along. And there it is. Well, my friends, looks like our neck assembly wants to pop off there. It looks like our neck assembly, that just popped off, is all done. That looks great. Yeah, I think that's pretty fantastic. And is that it? Yeah. All right. Our neck assembly is complete. Let's go ahead and move on to stage 26 and see what's coming next. All right, here is stage 26. And of course, as a reminder, I'll be following along with mydarthvader.com. Todd breaks down these instructions and makes them much easier to read and understand. So, all right, go ahead and get our parts out. And this should look pretty familiar, as this is something that we've kind of done already. We're going to be creating a control box that looks just like this one. So, get all of our wires out, although this one has our controllers in it, so that basically it has the board, the proper board, to control both the pieces here. So probably both of the belt controls, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. We have our battery pack. And they have also provided us with some LR44s as well, which is really nice. And you should get these. But if not, you can just find some LR44s on Amazon for fairly cheap. So we provided that. Got this battery cover. Our control box. Like so. Our control board with a button. There's nothing I'm going to be able to test and see if it works today, but that is the beginnings of it. You got control 1, TP, control 2, battery, and control 3. All right, and then we have the various different greeblies that we're going to be putting on. So we have a Q screw here, just like that. Beautiful. And then we'll go ahead and keep these set off to the side. So, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be dropping these red things on first, and we are. So I'm going to go ahead and drop them along the top of these posts. And there is going to be two different sides to it. You're going to want to use the detail with the all the detail, basically. And we're going to set that down along the top and press it down. And that's what that looks like. Beautiful. Then I believe we're going to take these little silver pegs. Yep, set them right over the top. Don't lose any of them. These are just going to plug right in. It's cool, the little parts. I'm glad we don't have to deal with sprues and clean up and all that jazz, which is really nice. Beautiful. And we're going to go ahead and grab our little piece of photo etch here. Kind of a sticker photo etch. I don't know if it is photo etch or not, but fairly close. Take off the backing. And we're going to go ahead and set this. Place it down right over the spot where it's supposed to go. Go ahead and stamp it in. Then go ahead and pull the tape. Ha! Or not. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel it off the backing. Grab my tweezers. It's just a sticker. It's fine. Get it lined up. Nope. It was lined up. Now it is. Then, using a silicone brush, go ahead and get it secured in place. Excellent. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab this little silver piece. It's a press fit connection. And a fairly solid one, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And this one actually does need a little bit of sanding. Okay. I should have fixed that. There we go. Indeedy. Then we're going to go ahead and grab the red lens. And we're going to push it in from the backside. Beautiful. Well, it comes out looking like that. Very cool. Now, we're going to go ahead and grab our green buttons. Then, we're going to go ahead and get these plugged into place. And let's go ahead and press those all the way down and in. Just like so. You want to make sure it gets all the way in. So I just kind of use the corner of my brush here. Get it all pushed in. There we go. Very good. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our circuit board. And we have a smaller extension. And we're going to go ahead and plug that one into control 2, which is going to be this spot right here. Make sure to check your polarity and make sure you're getting the right way. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the ribbon cable and go ahead and plug it in into control 3. Todd did test and add power and see what the switch does, and the answer is nothing so far. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this installed. And we're going to do so using one of our flange screws, which is going to be, I believe, a Q screw, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it is a Q screw. Careful not to crack the LED, or the board, excuse me. And there we go. Beautiful, just like so. Next, we're going to go ahead and slide in with our wire coming out this way. We're going to go ahead and slot this in right back behind here. Then we're going to go ahead and plug this into the connector labeled battery. So I am actually going to plug this in first. Then slide that in. And I'm seeing that it requires 3 LR44s, and I only have 2. Okay. How interesting. They only gave me 2 instead of 3. Is that right? Yeah? Is there a third? No. I guess not. And I just went through and took a look around the house, and I have some LR44s at work, which is lovely. So anyway, I'm not too worried about this right now. We obviously will be able to take care of that. We're not going to be powering anything up. We are going to go ahead and, for the sake of completionism, go ahead and take care of that. And then we're going to grab one of our Type Q screws, which is not the one that I thought, but one of our silver screws. Just like that. And for the next episode, I'll make sure to go ahead and... my goodness. Have the third LR44 put in place. All right, so there we go. And that is the end of stage 26. Looks great. Nice and simple, just like the other one on the other side. There are going to be probably some extensions and things that we're going to be plugging in. Not quite sure what all this is going to be doing, but we will get there here in probably the coming weeks. So there we are. Let's go ahead and move on to stage 27. And I think we're going to go ahead and get Vader's eyes put in place. All right, here is stage 27, and I would be correct in my assumption there. Not much to do in this stage too much, but for sake of awesomeness, we do have Vader's glove, and this does actually feel like leather. Let me, well, that is 100% leather. Wow. Those are nice gloves. I got to be honest, I'm really surprised by that. Yeah, this is actual leather. Wow. So that's what to do for there. Let's get the rest of our package out. And for that, we have a couple of frame sections. Is that all? Indeedy. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab his lenses. And what's funny is I've been hauling these around since the very beginning. I think we got these back in stage 1 or 2, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go ahead and use a microfiber cloth here and get his eyes all taken care of. Excellent. There we go. And what we're going to do, these are the 2 eye frames. There we are. So we have, this looks like left and right. Okay, so after having to figure this out for a minute or two, there we go. Even had it wrong there. There we go. So you're going to go ahead and press fit the frames into place. And there are, so now that we know what we're doing here, you have are these mounting lugs right here and the mounting holes. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this over just like that. Plug these in, top, bottom, and end. There we go. Very cool. Then we're going to go ahead and grab the inside of his mask and I'm sorry, just kind of working through and figuring this out. There is a mounting lug right here, and then there is a mounting, well, lug here, and then the post is right there. That is very simply going to sit over the top of that post and press fit into place. And Vader's eyes, or his lenses, are put in place. Very cool. I gotta say, that looks so much better with his eyes put in place. All right. Well, there it is. Stage 27 is complete. He's got his eyes, Lieutenant Dan. There we go. And I gotta say, this is a really cool stage. Took a little figuring out. The instructions, even with Todd's help, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a simpleton. So let's go ahead and move on to stage 28 and get some of the inner parts of the mask taken care of, as I believe we're getting towards the finish line on these parts up here. Okay, so stage 28's right here, and really it's just a bunch of tubes that are very similar to the ones that we installed in the previous episode. Yeah, so, but we're not going to be doing any of those little modifications that Todd wound up doing. So we have 28.8, 28.5, and 28.6. So get these open and out. And then we have a little silver piece right here. So keep the two packages separate from each other. I'm assuming that's going to be for different sides. And there we are. Going to need my sprue cutters, as these are sitting on the end of a bit of a gate. It's kind of interesting how they handle that. Okay. So I think we're going to actually have to do this in order so we know what we're dealing with here. So we got 4. This should be 3. Yep. And 7. This is 5. This is 6. 7. And 8. Okay. 2 parts there. Beautiful. Okay. So first things first. Right on this post right here, we're going to go ahead and grab this detail piece right here. And it will only press fit in one direction, just like that. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and just do the same thing on the other side. Not following the directions very closely, you know, because it's kind of easy to infer. All right, there we are. Now we're going to go ahead and grab 28.7, which is going to be this piece right here. Go ahead and cut it off. And this one is going to connect in right here. And then snap into place. There is a small mounting lug or mounting hole right at the end of this point. So we're going to go ahead and start getting that one in place and using my tweezers. Take that tube and get it somehow, maybe, okay, what I'd recommend, get that tube into place inside the nose piece. There we go. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. And I'm going to grab 28.3, which is the top one. That is going to go into the top of these two ports right here. And then is going to clip in right here. And I feel like we might need a little bit of super glue here. I'm not sure. There we go. Nope, we're good. So just like that. I'm going to grab 28.4. And that one is going to clip into the hole right below that, and then right into that hole. Cool. Just like that. Very cool. I like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and it's going to just go 28.8, 28.5, and 28.6, done in the exact same way, connecting into the exact same points on the other side. So I will come back and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so those are put in place, and I gotta say that detail is super cool in there, man. All right, I believe that finishes up the end of stage 28. Let's go ahead and move on to stage 29 and finish it up and get some more detail put in place. All right, here is stage 29. Let's go ahead and get our parts open and out. And I'm a little nervous that there's something sitting up in there, so I'm going to go ahead and just open this up the old school way. Go ahead and dump out our parts. Bunch of small details. Another one of these pieces here. I'm assuming we're going to have more tubes to put in later. A matching piece for probably another side. This one has a stamped left on there. That's what that looks like. This one comes with a 3M adhesive. Okay. So does this one. And that's what those parts look like. Matching piece for this one. Stamped R on it. Then a couple little pieces that are kind of bronze in nature. I'll show you what the other one looks like. It's got a couple of screw heads on it, actually, which is kind of cool. And that's what that detail looks like. Wow, that's really cool. All right. So I believe that should be all of our parts. So let's go ahead and move on. Start with our conductor plates. These are all conductor plates and internal conductor pieces and what have you. So on the left side, we'll go ahead and start with that one. There are going to be two little mounting lugs right above the tubes. That's where this is going to go. And just like that. And by process of elimination, we'll go ahead and do the other side. And try not to break anything. There we go. That's cool. Now we're going to go ahead and grab, which one is marked left? So this is right, this is left. We're going to start with the right plate. Take off the 3M backing. And this is going to clip in right here. Okay, so this is the point where you're going to really want to make sure that you got all of your inside padding lined up correctly. What I kind of ran into is I had to lift this off because these two mounting lugs weren't quite right, and I had to kind of figure it over on the other side. So, once again, just kind of mount up, match your mounting lugs up. This is a pretty solid press fit, so don't be afraid to give it a little oomph. And there we go. Man, no. This is a very difficult piece to get locked in properly. And once it gets locked in, you'll know. Okay. My goodness, that was difficult. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and grab one of these small details. And with this point pointing up, we're going to go ahead and install that. The point facing out. And clip it right into place right there. So I'll be clipping in on the other side right there. Probably using some tweezers wouldn't hurt. And if I were you, I'd put these little details on first before you try to install it here, especially if you have big stupid fingers like I do. My goodness. And there we are. Very cool. And this piece is going to clip in to the two holes right up above his eye. And it should look something just like that. Let's go ahead and take care of the other side. And my friends, after what was actually a little bit longer of a recording session for this build, because I was having a little bit of difficulties in a couple different spots, we are all set. I always seem to get one of these on without any problem, but the other one, for whatever reason, doesn't want to get in place. All right, and there it is. A lot more details put in place. All right, let me go ahead and get my desk cleaned up. We'll come back, have all the parts assembled, and take a look to see what we've gotten done. All right. right, so here we are. We got another one of Vader's control boxes taken care of, including one of our PCBs that does a little bit of controlling. We went ahead and started today by getting his neck completed, which is pretty awesome. Now his head's just going to be fitting down on the side. Oh, Anakin. I gotta say, that all looks really, really good. Ignore the wires, but yeah, that does look really good. And then we went ahead and got a bunch of detail put into place, including getting his lenses put in place. And I gotta say, man, like all of this turned out really, really cool. These were some janky parts and a little difficult to assemble, but the more detail that we get in here, it's probably going to be a little more tough to get all of this stuff together. But that being said, it's starting to pick up some weight and a ton of detail. And there he is. So let's go ahead and get Vader's face put together. Weird way of saying that. There we are. Very cool. And let's go ahead and get his helmet put back in place. And there's the Dark Lord of the Sith. His face is basically most of the way complete. Looks like we're getting closer and closer to start building some more chest stuff. And probably working on some of his legs. So I'm kind of curious to see what's coming up next. But like the rest of us, we're all going to have, but like you and the rest of us, we're all going to have to figure out what's coming up next. So there it is, my friends. We will be having the next 5 stages, and I believe pack number 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be having that coming out next time, and I hope you're looking forward to it just as much as I am. Otherwise, that's what I got for you today, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me, watching me build a model, and I think that's pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where we happen to be. And just remember that the Force will be with you always.